it is Julie. Welcome back to Pages and Pens. Today I am here with the intro to my December wrap-up. I'm going to be doing vlog style, but I'm probably going to be doing it in bursts just because I have a lot going on in the month of December. So what I'm here to do is go over the first 3 books that I have read in the month of December. Today is the 6th, so I mean, not great for the 6th to only have been finished 3 books, but one of them is a behemoth. So let's go over my ebooks first. I read Dash and Lily's Book of Dares. That is by Rachel Cohn and David Levithan. Really cute book, but I think I still gave it 3 stars. It's adorable. It's about book lovers who like meet in a bookstore through a notebook, and then they exchange dares back and forth, kind of get to know each other through this notebook before they meet in real life. The only problem is that it's got these like really wordy, super mature characters that just don't exist, like very Fault in Our Stars-y, but like to the nth degree. Like, not that these kids don't exist, I'm sure they do, I guess, but it's just not relatable for me when I was that age at all. But it was still a very, very cute story, and I do have the second book, which I hope to read this month as well. So that's a really short one. That's 12 Days of Dash and Lily, which I will get to, I'm sure, at some point. So that one was really cute, 3-star read. Then my second book was Stealing the Wind, which was a merman romance by Shira Anthony. And this one we found, Chelsea and I found, while we were researching for our book hangover book club, which is going to be like a smutty, sexy time book club, which we're really, really excited about. That will be launching in January. I'll put the title of our first book for our buddy read right here, and then I will also have stuff linked down in the description so that you can find it. But we're really excited about that. That will be happening in January, and what we're going to do is a live show for the book club that will be on a weekday, and it will alternate channels. So if the live drunk show's on my channel, then the book club show will be on Chelsea's channel, and vice versa. We're just gonna swap alternating months the same way we do for the live drunk show. And we're really, really excited about that one. So this one was about pirates and mermen and sexy time. And it sounds like it would be horrific, and it was so good. Like, it was really good for what it was, which was merman sexy time and male-male romance. As male-male romances go, not horrible. It was like a slave situation, but like with consent still. I mean, listen, it was a merman romance, and it was actually pretty well written. I think Chelsea's continuing with the series. If my library has it, I may. If not, definitely not. But it was not bad. So there's that. And thank you to everybody who said they wanted that book club, because when we started to go through Goodreads to look for diverse reads and male-male romance, female-female romance, etc., we came across it, and I was like, oh my god. And immediately we both started reading it that night and binge read the book, because we were like, how does it work? They have fins. Like, how does it happen? And we needed to know immediately, so we started reading it right away, and it was amazing. And then my third read of the month so far was this big giant beast of a book. I finally read Lord of Shadows. So I finished this, well, at like 1 a.m., 2 a.m. last night. And this one is the second of the not the Infernal Devices, the Dark Artifices series. And I really liked this book. I gave it 4 stars, but it's probably like a 4.5, definitely not a 5. So I went for like a 4. But I really enjoy this. Now, I think that this particular series is the best of Cassandra Clare's writing, which makes sense because it's her newest, and she's been writing for a long time, and she really knows this world. The characters are still a lot to handle. The main couple in this are Emma and Julian, and they are parabatai, but they aren't my favorite of this series. I really love Julian's family. He is not the oldest, but he's like the caretaker of his family. And Livy and Ty are twins. I love them. Kit comes in, and he's phenomenal. I love their dynamic, and I love that relationship. I also really love Mark and Kieran, who are Fae. Mark's part Fae, Kieran is Fae. I also love Christina, who is a diverse Latina X character. And there's a crap ton of diversity in these books. She's been great about including sexual diversity, racial diversity, all of that from the get-go in her books. And I feel like she has to have had sensitivity readers throughout the course of these books because she touches on so many different kinds of sexuality. I don't want to like give too much detail about what else is happening in this because I don't want to spoil anything, but there is just a lot going on in these books, always. And I really thought it was well done, like very, very well done. So I'm glad I finally got to this. Lady Midnight and Lord of Shadows really are my favorite of her works. And for everybody that asks every single time I do one of these videos, yes, I really do think you need to read the rest of her series before you get to this one. I'm sorry, it's unfortunate, but it's true. I really just don't think that the richness of this book really pays off unless you've read the rest of the works. But it was really, really good. I'm really glad that I finally got to it. I'm excited for the next one. And I'm very excited that the next series in this particular YA world has been identified as being Kit and Ty because I love them together. I'm really, really excited to see where that series goes. And then I know she just announced that she has like a new like adult series that is going to be like in this world, but for this particular update, that's everything. I'll see you in the next clip. You can't see my shirt, but I swear I'm wearing one.
Hi everybody, it is Julie, welcome back. I don't need to do an intro because this is just an update. What am I doing with my body?
I finished The Hazelwood by Melissa Albert. This one was so much fun, guys. I gave this a 4 out of 5 stars. I believe this is the final cover. I'm not 100% sure, but the like details that are on this all kind of pertain to the story, which I love. It's a soft feel book, which I also love. This one is a dark fantasy, and somebody asked me Witchwood or the Grisha trilogy dark. I didn't think the Grisha trilogy was that dark. It's definitely Witchwood dark in that it does have like gory, kind of like scary parts to it, but this is YA. It's not middle grade, so it's appropriate, and I think that it really, really worked for the story. I liked that it was more like grim fairy tale, like scary. It's not like princessy. It's very dark. So what I said in my Instagram stories as I was reading this is that it very much feels like Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children, but done well. I was not a fan of Miss Peregrine's. I really enjoyed this. The characters all play very vital roles and they kind of like weave in and out of everybody else's stories and like their path. This one is about Alice, whose mother goes missing, and her grandmother is a famous author. She wrote these fairy tales from the hinterland, and it became a cult classic. But then the books started disappearing. You can't find them anymore. They were either destroyed or they're like underground. You can't find these fairy tales anymore. When her mother goes missing, she's relatively certain that her mother has been taken by these fairyland creatures in the Hazelwood. The Hazelwood is like her grandmother's estate, and she finds one of her friends from school is actually one of her grandmother's super fans, and she goes with this boy Ellery, and they go together on this quest to try to find her mother, and kind of along the way realize that this world that her grandmother was writing about might not be fake. It's very cool. I liked the twists and turns. I liked the darkness. And again, when it's not a middle grade geared towards like 10, 11-year-olds, and it's supposed to be YA, that kind of level of darkness works. Where I think Tahara Mophi's was a little bit extreme, this one works. This one comes out on January 30th, and I loved it, loved it, loved it. I think you guys should absolutely 100% give it a read. It is really phenomenal. I think a lot of you are going to fall in love with it too. But that's it for this particular update. It's been days since I've updated you, mainly because I was so super sick that like reading was not working for me because my brain was not working properly. This is like the first time I've actually felt good enough to come on camera and give you guys any kind of a reading update, and I did finish a couple books. So since the last time we spoke, I have finished A Quiet Kind of Thunder by Sarah Bernard, and I really liked it. Here's the one issue. It is about people that are in the deaf community, and I don't know about the accuracy of that representation. There's a lot of like anxiety and mental health rep as well, and I thought personally that it was really well done. The story in general was so good. I really, really enjoyed it, and I gave that one 5 stars. So that was an arc that I got through NetGalley. That book's been out in the UK for like a year, but it hasn't come out here yet until January. So that was one of my January arcs. So I finished both of my arcs for the month. I was gifted a book by Dylan, and he made me promise to start reading it right away, which I did. So it was The Afterlife of Holly Chase by Cynthia Hand, and she wrote or co-wrote My Lady Jane, which I really loved. So I was excited to give this one a try. I knew that it was a Christmas story, but other than that, I didn't know anything about it. And it was like a Scrooge retelling, like a Christmas story retelling, kind of along the same vein as like My Lady Jane, but not really. And it was cute. It definitely wasn't what I was anticipating. I know that like Dylan went bananas on it and tabbed it up, said it was like his new favorite book of all time. It was definitely not that for me, but it was a fun read. It was a nice Christmassy read. So score 1 on a Christmas read. Today is December 17th, and I finished that today. I finished A Quiet Kind of Thunder on the 13th. I'm glad that Dylan sent this to me. I'm glad I got a chance to read it. It wasn't like mind-blowing, but it was enjoyable. So that's that. And I will check in with you guys later. Bye. Back with another reading update. I finished The 12 Days of Dash and Lily by Rachel Cohn and David Levithan. This is Christmas Eve. It's 4:40 on Christmas Eve. I'm about to head out to a Seven Fishes dinner in New Jersey. So I'm about to leave Pennsylvania and head over there for a night of fun with friends. And this really helped me. I was super struggling with reading. I have not finished anything in days. The Afterlife of Holly Chase I finished on the 17th of December. Today's the 24th, and I haven't finished anything since then, which is rough. It took me 11 days to read like 190 pages of The Heart of Betrayal by Mary E. Pearson, and I just didn't know what to read, didn't know what to do, but I'm feeling festive and in the Christmas spirit. I just was in such a reading slump, so this one really helped me. It was short, I got through it, so I'm hoping after Christmas that I can get back into reading and really knock out some books, because Cramathon. So this was supposed to be for Cramathon, but I just bumped it up because I had to get into like some reading. This is 7 books, and today's the 24th. 7 books in a month, I know for a lot of people is like huge. For me, that's not a lot at all. This is probably my lowest reading month so far. I'm hoping that some of the books that I have for Cramathon will really help to like push me over. This is probably a 3-star read for me. There's some really cute moments, some really pretty moments, but again, just not relatable in terms of like teenagers to me, but it was a cute festive read. I mean, it's fine, but there's like, for such a short book, they pack so much drama into these that it's like ridiculous. So I haven't done my Goodreads review of that yet, but I will soon. And yeah, that's my reading update for right now. It's Christmas Eve, so I'm gonna go do festive fun things and hang out with my friends, and I will talk to all of you guys as soon as I read my next book, which hopefully will be soon. Time for an update on Cramathon, and I've got Harry Potter in the background. I'm very sorry about that, but I don't know where my remote is, so we're just gonna deal. So I finished 2 more books for the month of December and the official start of Cramathon. I'm not gonna count the 12 Days of Dash and Lily because I really did finish that really early. I finished Dusk or Dawn or Day by Shauna Maguire on Christmas night, like late, so I'm counting it as early Cramathon. I gave this one 3 stars, I think. It wasn't horrible. It was definitely like her same dark kind of whimsical writing, but like weird. And I knew it wasn't going to be a part of the Wayward Children series. I knew it was going to be a little bit different, but I didn't love it. I still liked her writing style, but the actual story itself was like not the greatest. It was really small for the kind of world building she tried to do and the kind of magic she was trying to like describe, so it got a little bit convoluted and like crazy. So not my favorite by her, but still happy to have it. And then I read We Should All Be Feminist by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie, and this was a thing. I gave it 3 stars because I'm glad it exists for some people, but it didn't need to exist for me. For those of you that know, I spent years at a magazine empowering women and trying to be a voice for women that was different than like the normal magazine. We were pretty much the idea of feminism. For somebody who's so woke on the topic of feminism, this one didn't do anything for me. Like, it was such a starter course for feminism, and I think it has a place for people that don't think that feminism needs to be a thing or don't think they need to be a part of feminism. Then I think that this is great to kind of show them that. But for somebody like me who's been a feminist and has been doing her best to empower women and get this message across for years and years, it just really read as bland and repetitive. It's kind of the base examples of feminism in a little tiny booklet. I really kind of was hoping that it was going to be more impactful or more, I don't know about groundbreaking, but I thought it was going to say something unique, and I didn't find anything truly unique about this. Not my favorite, but not sorry I read it. Hello friends, I'm back with another reading update for Cramathon. I finished The Goblins of the Labyrinth, and this one is by Terry Jones, but it's also Brian Froud's illustrations. So these are like all the different illustrations of the goblins in the labyrinth. I'll show you like a flip through in a second. All the little goblins and then stories about them and like little illustrations. I read this, really enjoyed it. It had a little bit more humor than I was expecting, because inside each of these was like stories about each goblin, but like full backgrounds, like full made up fantastical stories about them that were really funny. So I enjoyed this a lot, but it was a really quick read. There wasn't like a ton to it. So look at that like inside picture. Like look at her with her pretty mask. Like it's gorgeous. This is all Brian Froud's artwork too. And this one I got actually as a Christmas present last year from my friend Kat. So it was kind of fitting to read that like Christmas to Christmas. I should have read it like way before that, but I finally got to it. And then book 4 was The Outsiders by S.E. Hinton, which had me straight up crying at the end. I had never seen this movie. This one was so good. And I don't know what I was expecting necessarily. I didn't know the premise. And going off of the back is just kind of like the opening of the book. It's not really a synopsis, so I don't know how I had managed to avoid spoilers, but I had. And this was so good. It was so heartbreaking though. And it felt like it was still just as relevant when this was written versus now. I think this is like the 50th edition, so this was written forever ago. And it's still just as accurate now as it was then. It felt like old school The Hate U Give, almost, you know, like, and if you've read both, you kind of get it, but it had that kind of same, like, social commentary. It was intense, but I really liked it. Packed a punch for, like, the short amount of pages. Gave this one 5 stars, gave The Labyrinth, I think I also gave it 5 stars, because, like, how do you not? I'm filming beauty videos today, but I wanted to update you guys, because I did finish Daughter of the Pirate King by Trisha Levenseller, and I loved it. Didn't think I would. Look at me loving it. I snuck this into Cramathon. It was a really quick read. I could have finished it yesterday if I wasn't like joking around so much, and it could have been a one-day read. I ended up finishing like the last 20 pages today though. Alosa, our main character, is such a badass. She is the daughter of the Pirate King. She gets captured by the enemy on purpose to try to steal something from their ship, and you would think being like a pirate story, it would be like super misogynistic and this girl would just kind of get like thrown around. She so held her own. There is a ton of like abuse triggers for her past that you kind of learn about in this book. But I loved the main love interest in this one was actually like a decent human being. There was obviously some things that he did that he was kind of like backed into a corner on, but otherwise like always permission, always really empowered. I really liked that about this book because it had the potential to be very alpha male dangerous, and instead it was like super empowering. And I love alpha male, but I think in this particular story, this is the way it needed to go. And I think it handled everything really well. It was a 4-star read, a ton of fun, and really fast. I'm definitely going to be continuing with this series, so really excited for that. Oh, hello! I'm here with another Cramathon update, and I finished another book. I finished Saga Volume 8. I put it on my Amazon wishlist, and then Amber from Amber Books and More let me know that it was free on Hoopla. I had to read it on my phone, but, you know, worse things have happened. And I got to read Volume 8 right away, which was really cool. Today's the 28th, and it came out on the 27th. I devoured it. That was a 5-star read, as all of the sagas have been. I love that series so much. If you guys have read them, then you know that they're definitely really rich, really diverse, really heartbreaking sometimes. I cried my eyes out at the end of Volume 7, and I knew going into Volume 8 that it was still going to be heavy. It was still going to be like pretty intense, and it was, but not in a bad way. Like, it was still social commentary, still really dark, still really intense, and just awesome and amazing and heartbreaking and like all the feels. Another win for Cramathon. Hello everybody! I'm out in my living room, so it looks a little bit different out here. I wanted to update you on more reading for the end of the year. Today is the 31st, so I only have the rest of today to finish up a couple things. And I did finish the graphic novel for Monstrous, which is a 3-star rating. I didn't love it. I love the artwork, and I don't know if it was just not reading it in physical copy and only reading it on my phone and having to like enlarge every page and like scroll around. I didn't understand the story. I had no clue what was going on for the majority of the time, and somehow still got like interested in different characters, but legit was so lost. And I am a smart woman. I'm not sure what it was about the story, but I just felt like nothing was explained well, like at all. So I was just clueless. Like, I don't understand at all what I just read. I will update you guys here as soon as I finish Giant Days, which I'm hoping to love so far. I already love it. I really do enjoy that graphic novel. Hello, hello. This is the end of my Cramathon wrap up. Today is the first, but I just know I am not gonna finish anything before tomorrow when Cramathon ends. Low-key reading today because tomorrow starts Outlander, attempting to get back into the Heart of Betrayal, and I'm like 200 pages into this. So I've only read maybe 20 pages today so far, and it is 11 o'clock. I've been up for a while, but I have editing and video editing and novel editing and writing to do today. I did finish Giant Days. John Allison, Max Sarin. It is this one, volume 2. This one is actually kind of came in perfectly because I was really lacking like an LGBTQIA plus character, which was one of the challenges for Cramathon. This one has one. Follows a group of 3 girls, right? Just 3 of them that are together in a college dorm. It's really, really fun. This one took a little bit of like a weird turn. One of the girls going like back home over winter break and having like almost like a mob interaction. Things got a little bit weird, but for the most part, it really is just a very heartwarming, really fun read, and it reads a lot like college really is. So for me, that's really, really fun to look at. So I really loved it. I ended up giving that 4 stars because of like that weird interlude where they like go home for the holidays and like just weird stuff happened. But other than that, it was a win. I've got the challenges in front of me and another tab with Goodreads open. So the first one was to read a book under 200 pages, and I think almost all of mine were under 200 pages. Dusk or Dawn or Day counts for that one. So we'll say that. Then we had book with LGBTQIA plus representation. That's Giant Days Volume 2. Shortest book on my TBR. That went to We Should All Be Feminist, which was a gift from Dylan. And then a book that was your favorite color on the cover. So we're going to go with the Labyrinth, Goblins of the Labyrinth, because it has like a mauvey, rosy, purpley color on the cover. A book that was gifted to you. Goblin King book was gifted to me. We Shall Be Feminist was gifted to me. 2 of them were gifted to me. One of the host's favorite books. So for that, I used The Outsiders by S.E. Hinton because it's one of Dylan's favorites, and it was a recommended book from him because he talks about it all the time. So I'm going to go with that one. And then read 7 books. So let's go over what I read because I'm pretty sure I read 7 books. Monstrous Volume 1, Giant Days Volume 2, Saga Volume 8, Daughter of the Pirate King, The Goblins of the Labyrinth, Outsiders, We Should All Be Feminists, and Dusk or Dawn or Day by Sean McGuire. So I read 8 for Cramathon, The 12 Days of Dash and Lily, The Afterlife of Holly Chase, Quiet Kind of Thunder, which I love, 5 stars. That should be coming out soon. Go read it. Sarah Bernard. The Hazelwood, which I loved and other people haven't, but I really, really loved it, by Melissa Albert. That is also coming out in January, and I think at the end of January, though. I gave that one 4 stars. Lord of Shadows by Cassandra Clare, 4 stars. Stealing the Wind, Mermaid Porn, 2 stars, but really probably 3. Dash and Lily's Book of Dares, 3 stars. I read 15 books in December. I thought it was going to be a really, really crappy year, and honestly, without the 8 books of Cramathon, it would have been, because for me, that's a very, very low reading month. The graphic novels those last couple days really helped December was by far my slumpiest reading month. Really don't get into huge reading slumps, but nothing I picked up after a certain point was interesting me. And I think it was partially just because I was really busy with holiday stuff, partially busy with just some like stressful changes that were potentially happening and then didn't end up happening. So I just kind of got myself into like a worry pattern, and then I got really refocused and wanted to like sit down and really get a game plan for 2018 for my writing and editing and stuff like that. It was just a really rough month for me. It's 2018. Let's see where my January reading goes. And I'm gonna just dive back into everything. That's it for my December wrap up and my Cramathon wrap up. Thanks for coming with me through the end of 2017. Thank you for making 2017 as good as it could be. I know it was a really rough year for a lot of people, but for me, it was personally filled with change, but positive change, and meeting a lot of new people and doing things that I never saw myself doing, and just growing in this community, which was really, really, really a great part of the year for me. So while not everything was fantastic, this part definitely was, and you're a big reason that that is as great as it was. So thank you so, 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 so much. And I look forward to seeing you guys all in the next year. I have a couple of like geeky stat videos and like surveys and end of year stuff coming up too, but I'm going to sprinkle them into January and not do it like overwhelmingly when everybody else is right now. So you'll be getting some of that stuff soon. But that's it for right now. So if you like this video, be sure to give me a big thumbs up, click subscribe, and I will see all of you in my next video. Bye guys.